Have you ever wondered how ancient humans found clean drinking water when there were no wells, no pipes, and no maps? Today, finding water is as simple as turning a tap. But for most of human history, one wrong drink could mean disease or even death. Yet our ancestors survived for hundreds of thousands of years. So how did they solve one of the greatest survival challenges in human history? The secret wasn't luck. It was observation. Ancient humans became incredible readers of nature. Over countless generations, they noticed that not all water was the same. A fast-moving stream usually made people less sick than a stagnant pond. Water bubbling from a spring often tasted fresher than water sitting still for days. They didn't know anything about bacteria or viruses, but experience taught them which sources were safer. Every mistake carried a heavy price, and every lesson became knowledge passed down through generations. Nature itself also left clues. Animals often acted as living maps. Birds flying low at sunrise frequently headed toward water. Herds of deer followed the same hidden paths to reliable watering holes. Even elephants were known to travel great distances to underground springs. By carefully watching wildlife, ancient humans could discover water that would have been almost impossible to find on their own. Of course, this came with danger. Predators also gathered around these places, turning every trip for water into a risky journey. Plants told another part of the story. In dry landscapes, a patch of unusually green vegetation often meant that water was hidden beneath the ground. Certain trees could only survive where their roots reached underground moisture. Even today, survival experts use the same signs. What looked like an ordinary tree to most people could be a life-saving clue to someone who understood the language of the land. But what happened when rivers disappeared? During long dry seasons, many streams simply vanished. Ancient humans adapted by learning where water remained hidden. In dry riverbeds, they sometimes dug into the sand to reach damp soil beneath the surface. They collected rainwater in natural rock basins and used large leaves, shells, or animal skins to store it. Even morning dew became valuable during desperate times. Survival wasn't about finding huge lakes, it was about recognizing small opportunities that others would miss. One of the most precious discoveries was the natural spring. Springs are places where underground water flows naturally to the surface. Unlike rivers that could dry up, many springs flowed all year round. It's no coincidence that thousands of years later, some of the world's earliest villages and towns were built near these reliable sources. Long before civilization existed, humans already knew that dependable water meant dependable life. What's surprising is that ancient humans still became sick from water. Without modern sanitation, parasites and waterborne diseases were common, but communities that consistently chose cleaner sources had a better chance of surviving and raising children. Over thousands of generations, these successful habits became traditions, shaping the way humans traveled, hunted, and eventually settled down. Then, everything changed with one discovery: fire. Once humans learned to control fire and later make containers that could hold water over heat, boiling became possible. They didn't understand microbes, but boiling naturally killed many harmful organisms. A simple campfire quietly became one of humanity's greatest tools for survival. Perhaps the most remarkable part of this story is that none of this knowledge was written down. There were no books or maps. Instead, it lived in memory. Parents taught children where hidden springs flowed after the rains. Elders remembered which rivers dried up in summer and which never failed. Stories around the campfire became survival guides, preserving knowledge that could mean the difference between life and death. The next time you pour yourself a glass of clean water, it's easy to forget how extraordinary that simple act really is. Behind every drop lies a journey that began hundreds of thousands of years ago, when our ancestors learned to read the earth itself and discovered that the greatest survival tool they ever possessed wasn't strength or speed, but the ability to observe, remember, and learn from nature.